Vox has left Alastor and Lucifer's reputations in shambles after the events of Hazbin Hotel Season 2. And the only way for the two of them to come back on top is to team up and strike a deal. It's time to talk about the executioner theory. In the final moments of Hazbin's second season finale, Charlie remarks how Alastor has found something new to entertain him at the hotel after returning to his position as host. This something being none other than his dear old rival, Lucifer. This moment has led to speculation that Hazbin will pull from Christian demonology and turn Alastor into Lucifer's executioner, and I couldn't agree more. So much so that I had to put my own 2 cents in as to why this would be perfect for Alastor and Lucifer's character arcs. But what is the deal with Alastor and Christian demonology? Well, according to Jax Collin Duplanty's Dictionary Infernal, Alastor is the executor of decrees in Lucifer's court of justice. Even among the demons of hell, he is said to be exceptionally cruel and severe. That last part definitely sounds like someone we know. Taking into account the consequences of Vox's power grab, alongside the many revelations of Season 2, it really does seem like the show is heading in a similar direction. You may be thinking, but Alastor and Lucifer hate each other. Like, this is actual Meet the Grams level beef. Alastor quit the hotel just because this dude asked him to use a coaster. But so much has changed specifically for Alastor since this moment occurred. When he quit, Alastor was sustaining a nasty wound, a broken staff, and an overall blow to his ego. He felt as if he was severely lacking in power and respect, which was the exact opposite of what his deal with Rosie guaranteed. And then here comes Lucifer, someone who Alastor thinks doesn't deserve any of his power, feeling more than comfortable enough to belittle Alastor in front of Charlie's friends. This moment was the accumulation of the tension brewing between the two. They were already fighting over the role of Charlie's true father figure, trying their damnedest to outdo one another, but then the extermination happened. Adam quickly put Alastor out of commission, whereas Lucifer was on the verge of killing Adam, sufficiently protecting Charlie in the process. So Lucifer's attitude towards Alastor in this scene just solidified how he won the beef. He proved he was stronger and more dependable than Alastor. But after Alastor surrendered himself to Vox, he discovered Lucifer's inability to smite sinners, watched Lucifer's reputation plummet in an act that also caused him to inadvertently let down Charlie. Then Alastor saw just how easy it apparently is to trap and exploit Lucifer before finessing his way out of his deals, and witnessing Vox destroy his own image shortly after the TV head ascended to the status of the most powerful sinner. When you think about it, Alastor actually had to do very little for things to turn around in his favor. He kinda just let things play out. Aside from all that, I think Alastor has realized that Rosie's power simply isn't enough to get by. Given that he not only got curb stomped by Adam, but every time he fights in Season 2, he has a near-death experience. And while a lot of that has to deal with his broken staff and being wounded, I think he learned that this power is not enough to fight or to defend himself. But coincidentally, he just got a pretty impressive demonstration of what Lucifer's power is capable of when it's harnessed without any restrictions. And make no mistake, Alastor needs a power boost for the sake of his aura. Giving himself up to the V's resulted in public humiliation and further damage to his own reputation after it was already weakened thanks to Rosie forcing him to disappear for 7 years. So although the general populace of the Pride Ring might be over Lucifer and Vox, it's not going to be easy for the radio demon to step back into the spotlight and strike fear into everyone's hearts when he also looks kinda washed. And that's where the team up comes into play. Alastor wants to be the most powerful sinner and loves torturing his prey. And Lucifer said himself that he wields pure angelic power. I mean, he's saying it, but same difference. If a sinner somehow managed to possess that power, it certainly makes them the most powerful one in hell, without question. This kind of strength has been consistently shown to obliterate sinners in an instant, leaving nothing behind. And Lucifer hates sinners more than anything, but he can't do squat to them. And after the Vox fiasco, I think he knows it isn't wise to stroll the streets of hell alone, because if he's attacked with the proper arsenal, there's only so much he can do to fight back. If only there was a way for the two of them to get exactly what they want. Some kind of ritual or pact? A deal, perhaps? Look, from the moment Vox was beheaded, I believe Alastor already began plotting to strike a deal with Lucifer. An arrangement where Lucifer lends Alastor his power, and in return, Alastor can punish any sinner that Lucifer desires, ranging from storing their souls in this bizarre radio dimension that hasn't been elaborated on all too much, or he'll just flat out disintegrate them with angelic energy. Lucifer acts as the judge, and Alastor's the executioner. It by all accounts makes perfect sense. Yes, Alastor hated being Rosie's pet, even if it was a means to an end, but his relationship with Rosie is night and day from his relationship with Lucifer. Rosie had the upper hand from the very beginning, whereas Alastor and Lucifer were always in a power struggle. But now Alastor knows that no matter how far he pushes the envelope, Lucifer can never do any meaningful harm to him. Alastor could only benefit from a deal because his defiance could never really be punished. I don't think he's trying to strike a deal solely to get his hands on angelic power though. I think Alastor becoming Lucifer's executioner would be one of many moves Alastor's making to manipulate the Morningstar family into supporting his heinous endeavors under the belief that they're doing what they want to do. He knows he can't deter them from their goals, so he's better off changing those goals so that they align of his own. This alliance will start out small, with Alastor and Lucifer punishing sinners who genuinely deserve it and have proven without a shadow of a doubt that they're unworthy of redemption, which is how he can rationalize the position to Charlie, who's obviously going to disapprove of Alastor and her dad killing sinners regardless of the circumstance, especially with how hard she's worked to stop the exterminations. But Alastor can argue against any comparisons to the extermination with the simple fact that the exterminations killed sinners indiscriminately regardless of how they lived their afterlives. And with the hotel bigger than ever, it'd be good to streamline the process. Trim the fat and get rid of any sinners who really have no interest in changing. Those who pose a greater risk if left unchecked instead of taken care of here and now. But over time, Lucifer will get carried away. He'll love that sinners fear him, and he won't get enough of finally being able to punish them, inevitably going overboard with the executions, which is exactly what Alastor wants. He wants to mold Lucifer into someone who's just as bloodthirsty as he is, so that he can mold hell in his image. He'll be the devil on the devil's shoulder, inching closer to his dream of being the most powerful sinner, while Lucifer struggles to rein himself in and figure out what kind of king he truly wants to be. I do think he'll be on board of Alastor's plan because Season 3 seems to be where Lilith will finally take on an active role in the story, and we know that she was perceived as the true ruler of hell, while Lucifer was down on his luck. In order to regain his wife's admiration and respect, he'll roll with Alastor to show he has his shit together and is actually gaining relevance amongst sinners, even if they're definitely afraid of him instead of unanimously adoring him like with Lilith. Still, this might please Lilith just to see her husband isn't a total sad sack, until Lucifer gets too lost in the carnage to listen to reason, which I'm sure will interfere with her own agenda. And if you need further convincing, then look no further and gaze at Vivzie Pop's own allusions towards Alastor being a prominent antagonist in Season 3, and a major hint at the executioner role coming to fruition at the recent Hazbin Hotel Broadway show. To quote Vivzie Pop, "I'm also excited for people to see a character we've built up. I won't say who, just to be extra safe, but I think people will know by the end of this season who I'm talking about. A character who's been built up as sort of a friendly face or an anti-hero. A character who's on the right side for the first 2 seasons, getting to step into a villain role, and getting to see the nuance and the real motivation behind a very trickstery, devious character who has his own agenda that's much more sinister in Season 3. Getting to see that arc play out and getting to see that dynamic, I'm personally very excited for that aspect of the story. And at the Hazbin Hotel Broadway debut, Alastor's voice actor, Amir Talai, was wearing Alastor's outfit, which included a crown-shaped pin that he stated would make sense after future installments in the series. With Lucifer being the king of hell, it's easy to connect this detail to the 2 characters and assume that this is a visual representation of their alliance, what Alastor will wear in the show after being appointed the role of executioner. Alastor swore to be the one pulling all the strings once he liberated himself, and if you ask me, this is how he achieves total victory, presenting himself as a mere servant of the devil, when in reality, he's the puppet master. But as always, I want to know what you guys think. Is it too soon for Alastor and Lucifer to team up, or do you think now is the perfect occasion? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, throw it a like and subscribe to the roundtable with notifications on so you can stay in the loop of all things Hazbin. Thanks for watching. Now go touch some grass. Peace.